First of all, good morning to you once again, and good morning to my brothers on the show. And of course, my brother who has decided to
self-appointed campaign manager
today with his mischief. But you know, Nana, first of all, I think congratulations are in order, like our national chairman has done. I think that they have issued a statement to that effect, congratulating the New Patriotic Party for conducting a peaceful Congress to elect their new flag bearer. Better than many of the congresses that they have held in the past. And as a country, I think that it is only proper that we congratulate them for demonstrating that commitment to democratic principles and actually upholding it during this electoral process. And we, like the statement indicated, we wish them well. We hope and pray that they are able to quickly close up their ranks and get back to the business of holding government accountable, so that in that shared responsibility with government, we can continue to serve the good people better, of this country better. And so it is our hope and prayer that they fasten the process to at least heal wounds. I know as a matter of fact that dealing with Kennedy Ajapong will be a tall order, but it is their responsibility as a political party to find ways of engaging him and many others who would have been disgruntled by the outcome of this particular resource. But Nana, like we have indicated, as a political party, the National Democratic Congress is convinced without any shadow of doubt that the mandate given to us will justify the outcome of the next election. And with the way our president is going, and with the way he's been ably assisted by, with his team, we are convinced that the next general election will be a walk in the park. Yes. We would not take the mandate of the good people of this country for granted. We will continue to justify the confidence in us on a daily basis. It is the reason why we are committed to many of the government interventions intended to empower, for example, the youth. Interventions like the Jumaura program, the National Apprenticeship program. All these activities or programs are ongoing, and the 1 million coders program. And government is still committed to it and with the objective of empowering the Ghanaian youth. We are also still committed to getting hold on our economic fundamentals and at least ensuring that we provide a stable economic outlook for the private sector to take advantage of. So if after 20 or 30 years from now, my brother on my left, they are fortunate enough to be forgiven by the good people of this country and brought back to power, he can rest assured that in his role, maybe by then as a finance minister, because I know he would end there eventually.
Oh, wow.
Maybe he's then, former GRE, Ghana Revenue Authority. So his role as a,
you would want to be
I'm
careful
sure that
about
he would be glad. He would be glad.
You would want to be very careful about prophecies.
30 years from now, of course. 30 years from now, if they are, 30 years from now, if they are minded to change their sports, change their leadership, and at least the Ghanaians begin to trust them again, who knows? He could end up
very well.
At that ministry. But even with that, we would have handed over to him a very formidable economy to manage. So this government is focused. But on the issue of renaming, I think that I've always had a problem with the politics around it. And I've made that point on several occasions. Nana, let us also not pretend that this issue of political renaming of state institutions gained momentum under the erstwhile NPP regime, especially under the first term of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and on to the second time. That was the period we saw all manner of state institutions captured and named not after national heroes, but partisan heroes of the New Patriotic Party. A classical example is the case of Simon Dombo University. This was a university established under the NDC. Like he indicated, under President Rawlings, he resisted the temptation to have the university named after him, even at the time of President Kufuor. He resisted it. It was simply named University for Development Studies, simple and short. not after any town. Nana Addo took over power and decided to honor one of their founding members as a political party, in the case of Simon Dembo, or Dombo, I hope I'm getting the name right, from Wa, decided to name it after him. For simply being or being noted as a member or foundational member of the New Patriotic Party. That was all. Not in reference to any significant or outstanding service as far as the Republic of Ghana is concerned. As if that was not enough, he proceeded again to Tamale and decided to name the Tamale Airport, International Airport, after who? Another foundational member of the New Patriotic Party, in the person of Yakubu Tale, a sub-chief of the Yana. And we argued then that if indeed it is an opportunity to honor the good people of the North, then it was better for the MPP government to have even named it the Jewa International Airport. Jewa because those from Northern region, those from Northeast region, Baumea's own home region, and Upper East could identify with Jewa because we have a common ancestral lineage. And so Jewa, was more or less, has that historical antecedents to all these three regions. We all trace our roots somehow to Jewa. And that is the title of the Yendi skin, na Jewa. So we argued that if it is intended to honor the good people of the North, it is better for you to say Jewa International Airport. They said no and proceeded to name it Yakubu Tale International Airport. So that particular name is also under review. You can rest assured. And my brother is asking the rationale behind the decision, because they gave a reason. They wanted to name it after traditional people or institutional, wasn't it, the localities or whatever he said. Agreed. The Minister for Education, when he was announcing the renaming, also gave a reason. And the reason was straightforward. It is to reverse what this government believes to be political renaming of state institutions. And so that is the policy rationale behind it. If your policy rationale was to more or less name it after your own founding members of the New Patriotic Party, our policy rationale is simply to rename these institutions and bring them back to their former glories. National in character. And that is what we are doing. That is what we are doing. If there is basis for you to name an institution after anybody, for example, UHAS, we all know that this was an institution established under His Excellency the late President John Evans Atamios. And so if a government decides to name it after him, fair enough, like they proposed to name after Jerry Rawlings.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But you just don't go on a naming rampage simply because you wanted to capture every state structure in this country to reflect your partisan objectives, not the national objectives. And so that is what we are avoiding. But in the case of Kotoka, I think that discussion has been raging for years now. And I know, as a matter of fact, that there are even leading members of the New Patriotic Party who felt uncomfortable with the fact that Ghana was a bit reluctant when it came to renaming Kotoka International Airport. I remember the early months of this government, Oliver Barker Sr. Also instituted a law, an action in the law courts seeking to challenge the legitimacy of Kotoka still being on our books as Kotoka International Airport. That suit is also pending before the apex court of the land. So I know that as a matter of fact. And I also appreciate the politics around the issue of Kotoka. And for me, I think that I fully subscribe to the government policy decision to have it renamed. First of all, because of the realization now that indeed the 1966 coup caused so much havoc to the progress of this nation. It cut short a transformational agenda that the late Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was championing. That even in decades as a country, we still struggle to model our transformational agenda to match the path that Nkrumah was taking us on. And so it is only proper for us to accept in sober reflection that that coup was unnecessary and it took this country back. And for us to be constantly reminded, anytime we visit Kotoka, to be reminded that even the person who championed it is on our doorway to this country, as far as the aviation sector is concerned, should be a source of worry to any Ghanaian, not just members of the National Democratic Congress or the CPP or the PNC, but even to the New Patriotic Party. And I think that I would have been quite concerned if the policy decision was to rename it after maybe an NDC member. But this is sensitive in nature. You go to Nigeria, you have the Abuja International Airport. It's not named after any person. This is our international airport, Accra International Airport, gateway to the country. I don't think that there should be any motivation for us to name it after any other person when we can take advantage of it to actually if you like, propagate the culture of the capital city, Accra. So if it is Accra International Airport, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We have Lusaka International Airport and the likes. You know, you go to the likes of Heathrow. These are not what's the name? Airports named after individuals. So let us all also have our national identity. That if you are outside the shores of this country and they say Accra International Airport, you don't struggle to locate where that is. It also adds to the color of the country in terms of branding and selling the country, Ghana. But if you say Kotoka International Airport, you still have to look, where is it? Accra, Ghana. Unnecessary. So this is commendable, and there's the need for the New Patriotic Party to understand that this has no political undertones, quite apart from the fact that there is the need for us to brand this country once again. There is also the realization that, look, the 1966 coup caused this country a great deal. And for us to continue to have it on our gateway is a constant reminder of the havoc that they caused to this country. But mind you, the basis of taking 31st December to court, remember when we were celebrating, the NDC was celebrating the 31st December. What were the arguments the New Patriotic Party advanced in that case? They said that it was a constant reminder. Celebrating 31st December would be a constant reminder to many who suffered as a result of the 31st December coup. These were their concerns, and that it constituted an affront to the spirit of the 1992 Constitution that abhors coup d'etats, and that the country should not entertain the celebration of 31st December as a public holiday and also as a state celebration. These were the arguments the NPP advanced. So my advice is that they should take the same arguments they advanced in the 31st December case and apply it to this government policy decision to change Kotoka to Accra, and they will appreciate and possibly defend government's decision in this matter, because we are not departing from the arguments they advanced in the case of 31st. We are actually giving meaning to these arguments in our decision to rename Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport. And you should be commending us, my brother, for taking decisions based on arguments you advanced years ago.
So